Morning, guys. Hope you had an awesome Monday. Maybe I must just bring the mic closer before I start my stream. Today we're going to be looking at buying a local dip. So the argument is, if this is a bottom signal and this may be a temporary bottom for that matter, it means that from the daily time frame there might be a scenario where we're going to be chopping sideways, maybe pull back, area where you can get yourself out of some distressed positions as well, for a potential lower low for BTC as well. So the argument is, if that is going to be the case, you want to be trading to the upside, you want to be trading to the downside. So I'm going to be looking at that with you guys. I'm going to just lay out all the various levels and show you something interesting with volume that you can use going forward to try and identify these dips. Okay, so if you find the information helpful, remember to share the video with a friend. And if you're new to the channel or just basically want to reach out, drop me a comment. I'll always be around and willing to respond to that. Okay, so let's cut the sound. Hello, Cam. Thanks for joining in live. There's about 50 people, 51 on all the various platforms joining in live. Firestorm here. Everybody is coming in now, so it's starting to, the room is starting to fill up now. Okay, so BTC daily time frame. The important thing that I want to just remind you guys of is what we've now done is we've established the bearish trend. So if you go over to the line two, you can clearly see we've now made consistent lower lows and consistent lower highs. The trend is bearish. Okay, so any swing trade direction, anytime you're going to hold a position for a little bit longer, your mindset needs to be that of shorting, not longing. Statistically, you'll have a better chance at getting in on the move or staying in the right direction than to try and time the right dips. It's so much harder to try and identify these zones. So when we swing when its market is giving you a trend that's strong. Same with this. Currently strong trend, so statistically you will have had a proper better chance just to go long and not getting wrecked than to try and time the top of each and every bearish divergence, trying to look for a top. Okay, so that's just the key and something that I always remind. So we've tried this already. We've now established sideways. We're breaking out now. So now the important is for the continuation. So we're looking for that. Upper but lower end of the trading range, as you can clearly see, and I've got everything just switched on to the line tool. I'm just going to talk you guys through everything on the line tool. Okay, so looking at this, you clearly have an upper end of the market or the lateral trend, and you will have a nice, clean, simple bottom end of the market, meaning that these would be shakeout events, traps, bull traps in this instance, and so forth. And you can adjust this. Remember, these kind of analysis is a little open to your interpretation or how you feel. There is no exact rule that it has to be there. Realistically, all of this is demand liquidity. Realistically, all of this at the top was supply liquidity. So you don't need to be too precise for this. It's about getting the right entry. Okay, that's when you need to be really precise when you do an analysis. So the fact is very simple. It's clear that we're moving to the downside. Okay, now daily time frame, switching this to a 4-hour, which is your swing trading time frame. What we're looking for now is price to hit its first level of resistance before we can short the market again. So yesterday we were in a probable bounce area. I didn't go long there because remember, this is the area where you want to hunt for a long, but you first need TA, your setup, to present itself there. Wicking into that isn't a setup, especially not the nature of where I wanted to grab that. So I like the fact that we're bouncing there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that is the local low. So the trick that I want to show you guys when we look at this now is, and I'm going to just explain this to you beforehand, is as the market will go down, what will happen is strength gets shown by volume going up. Okay, so we're going to be looking at volume now. And when we're getting to the point where we could say and start speculating that this is exhausted, so maybe we can look at going in the opposite direction, going long, you'll find that volume on a lower low will start going down. Typically, another way to word this is it's divergence. The market is diverging from its current trend. Okay, so let's bring in the volume. So I'm going to head over to the Bollinger Band template because that one shows everything nicely. Where is my volume indicator? Let's just see why it's not there. Let's quickly just load. I must have saved it and never updated it. There you go. So there's your volume. Now, a nice way to set your volume, we're 5 minutes in, I've got about 2 more minutes to spend on this, is to go to your volume settings real quick, set this over to an area, okay? Make this the same color, because the information that we're trying to obtain here is not whether it's a buying or selling volume. It's whether volume in general is higher or lower. That is what is important. So set it to an area. And then what I like to do is I like to use the volume moving average and do the opposite. Set it also to an area setting, okay? And then just make that transparent, because now you have a really good baseline of where volume is on average, okay? A really good baseline for that. And then once volume starts falling below the averages, signs of exhaustion. So let's zoom out. Let me just quickly show you a good example. So as price is going on higher and higher, okay, you'll find that your volume is growing considerably, or growing with the move. Let me just zoom into the current price action. Okay, so you'll see that there's your volume growing as the market is reaching a certain high. And then typically what you will find is once your volume starts spiking and price goes higher, but the volume deviates, that's signs that the momentum is going away. So now where we are, we're at this first lower low with volume spiking. So when only I'm going to start saying it's time to go long is when we start making a lower low and the volume starts depreciating as well, because then you know that there's exhaustion in the market. If we go make a lower low and there's more volume, I mean, there's more people to be shaken out. That's the important thing. Okay. Now, a lot of lines, a lot of information sometimes can feel like I'm going and rushing through this. But as I always say, today's video is brought to you by Prime. Prime is my main channel sponsor. I trade there full time. So if you want to join me, why not take advantage of the Prime discount 20% deposit bonus that's there? And you can join up in the Discord and trade with me. We're going live with market tactics after this stream. We're going to be looking at additional setups and so forth. Okay, so BTC for now. Let's quickly finish up today's settings or setup for today. So if we've clearly identified a certain area and there's no signs on the volume that this is a reversal, which means that your game plan needs to be to hunt for a short within this area or within the setup. And the beauty is if we start looking at this, and I'm just going to mark that out. There's a pivot on the RSI, there is a pivot on the RSI, and there is a pivot on the RSI. So what typically will happen is you're going to find that price is going to not make higher highs in order to remain bearish. So have a higher high line. Okay, let's delete all the other lines. Let's clean it up a bit. Have another higher high line, have another higher high line. Okay, so now you've got 3 higher high lines and you've got 2 support, you've got a resistance zone. So typically, you're going to want to be waiting for price to creep its way up into this area and then hit the short button with an invalidation saying that if it goes above 61, it's no longer, it will probably go on higher. And the argument or the excuse that you have to take that risk is off the back that we've got hidden bearish divergence around those pivots. Okay, so clearly you can see that the market needs to buy so much and the bears are in so much control that the RSI is overshooting. And that's your hidden bearish divergence. And remember, you always weight the current trend above anything else. Now, the beauty is, if and when, say this happens, we do have a reversal somewhere, and we go down, then we can start looking for strong bullish divergence, because at that stage, your RSI will have made a higher high, price didn't. So price will probably go make a lower low, and the RSI makes that higher low. And that's that strong bullish divergence that we will preemptively then hope and wait for in order to drive and say that this is a temporarily local bottom, meaning that price is probably going to drive a little bit higher. It give you that exit signals that I was talking to you guys about, and then maybe move down to 41, 43, 31. You know, as crazy as it could be, still potential possibilities. Okay, guys, so that's everything that I wanted to share with you guys today. So remember to learn how to set up your volume indicator accordingly. And let's have a look at one quick alt. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll load a quick alt for you guys. And let's see, I see a comment here for DOT. So let's quickly have a look at DOT. So DOT is giving you exactly the same feelings. So you should not be too bullish on DOT. So clearly you can see your momentum is to the downside. You're looking at your volume is moving up. Price is not made a higher high. So typically what you want to look for is to short DOT, and you can use any of this. And this would be the one that I'll be using. That's your higher high line, as well as your invalidation for the hidden bearish divergence, which is clearly there. So you want to treat this as a short zone. So expect a lot of resistance to enter the market. And remember that little rule that I always say, 50% of the candle that makes the higher high, that's the buy, and the same will be for the bearish side. So if you look at the strong engulfing candle, realistically, price should and will always, if the trend wants to continue on, hold these levels and then go down lower. Okay, so there you have it for DOT. So DOT, I expect more lower targets. And that's it. Right, guys, you have a lovely day. As always, head over to the Discord. Videos in the links to everything is in the video description. Get your free trial. No questions asked, and come trade with me in the Discord. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
I'll keep hustling.
Subscribe now.